Off top, which team in the NFL this year has the most successful fourth down conversions? Play music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Friday episode of the Domonique Foxworth Show. We are joined as we are almost every Friday by Mina Kimes. Hey, Mina.
Hi, that's a tricky one. I feel like the obvious answer is always the Eagles, but because you said it, it must not be the Eagles.
It is not the Eagles.
And it must not be the Lions.
There was a surprising fact that jumped out. I was looking for something to get excited about in one of the games that you presented, and that's what led me down this path. I'm sure you can guess the game that it was hard for me to get excited about. But anyway, I learned that the Panthers, on 42% of their scoring drives, they've required at least one fourth down conversion. The second place team is 28%. Panthers aren't the answer either, but it just shocked me because it was like, oh, you guys can't score at all unless you go for it at some point of your drive.
Yeah.
You guys stink.
What is the answer?
Colts.
Oh, yeah.
And they are, I think, 81% successful. The Bengals are a little bit more successful. But yeah, the Colts have 17 successful fourth down conversions.
It's one of those years for the Colts where everything seems to be going their way.
I hear the disdain in your voice.
We were them.
Yeah, I know. That's why I hear the disdain in your voice. Because
no disdain.
The Colts are who you were last year.
That's right.
When the aggression hits, it hits hard.
All right. Good games. Who's starting? Is Mina starting?
Mina's starting.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I'll do Lions-Eagles. There's a bunch of good games this week.
Yeah,
but
really good slate.
It's so funny because I think amidst all the Rams-Seahawks excitement, which is validated, it's almost been forgotten that the Lions and Eagles are playing on Sunday Night Football, which is crazy. I think this is really interesting. This to me, Dominic, I want to hear your on this from the Lions side. I think the coaching aspect of this is really fascinating.
Yes.
From both sides, but we can talk about it from the Eagles offense versus the Lions defense, because this Lions defense under Kelvin Shepherd has been really, really, really well coached. He's come up with some really creative and interesting game plans. They still play a lot of man coverage. They still blitz a decent amount, but we know that's not what you're supposed to do against this Eagles team. The Packers had the right game plan for them. So I'm really interested in seeing what Shepherd comes up with. If he changes some of his tendencies, I think he will. And, I think from Philadelphia, whether we can get some more offensive consistency, because it has been such a roller coaster with them.
Yeah, I was watching the game from last week, the Lions and the Commanders, and the Lions were doing something that I hadn't really seen other people do that often. Is they use their middle of the field player, or at least they did in cover 3. They used their middle of the field player aggressively. And it could have just been.
You can do that in a scrimmage.
Yeah, it could have just been because they were going against the Commanders. But I also think that, that player is a throwaway player most of the time, and it's just to discourage the deep shot. And so I think teams are not anticipating that. And for a team like the Eagles, who is not offensively all that aggressive, I'm interested to see if Kelvin Shepherd tries to get that middle of the field player more involved and force/challenge them to take those shots more often, because we often just throw that player away. You go deep and it's discouraged a deep pass and no one ever throws it to him. So unless this guy has ridiculous range, he's not involved in the play. They just had him squatting on third downs, just squatting at the sticks and going off of Mariota's eyes and making a play. I want to see if Kelvin Shepherd does that again, especially if they're going to do a lot of single high, which you would expect against this Eagles rushing attack. And this Eagles, it's not even that the rushing attack is good, it's that they are committed to it. And they're going to run the ball an inordinate amount of time.
A lot of duo.
So you need to be prepared for that. So I think that, to your point, I'm looking forward to that on the Eagles offense versus the Lions defense. But if you flip it, those Eagles linebackers, what?
Oh, no. This is what I'm with you on this. It's this matchup too. The linebackers and the edges.
Yeah. I mean, the edges, and for the Eagles, their pass rush has gotten much better because of the new additions. And you bring back Nakobe Dean, who's one of the smartest. I hate to call it instinct because it seems like he's not a thinking player, but his brain moves pretty fast. He's not the biggest. He's not the most physically imposing or explosive player necessarily, but he just kind of gets there just a split second sooner. And I think Gibbs is going to be a focal point in this rushing attack and passing attack. And the Eagles linebackers are very good. They're all very good. And seeing how they address Gibbs in the passing game, like that's something else. If they're able to hold up, because you just think about that angle route at the beginning of the Washington game, and just about every time Gibbs is in the passing game, there aren't linebackers.
Yeah.
There aren't many linebackers around the league that are comfortable in that situation.
I think the Eagles should borrow from Brian Flores and blitz the backer a decent amount, which they did with Dean at one point, I think, in the Packers game. And Jalen Phillips had a chip on him, which is, you immediately saw the dividends even when he's not getting to the quarterback. But, I mean, that to me was such a successful strategy against Detroit. You get the interior pressure on Goff. You take out Gibbs out of the passing equation. I think for the Lions' perspective, another thing I would do, or a thing that I would do on offense, is just find a way to make sure that third Eagles cornerback is on the field. Yeah. In the Commanders game, they played a ton of 3 wide receiver, which, again, Commanders, But the Eagles linebacking group is like a remarkable strength of theirs. Yeah. And you want DeJean playing the slot so that Adoree Jackson is outside, and then do what Green Bay didn't do and go after Adoree Jackson instead of Quinion Mitchell. Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, I think to your point about the inside pressure, because Goff is not an athletic quarterback, inside pressure is particularly great. And if you send the blitz, it'll keep the thought process is it'll keep the running back in for protection, so Gibbs won't be able to get out. And Gibbs is a good pass protector, but even if he's successful in his protection, the fact that you keep him in is a problem, and you have to peel the ends. So like you can't jump inside. You have to peel the ends if Gibbs releases anyway, because you have a free release or a screen or something like that. The ends have to peel and be athletic enough, which Jalen Phillips definitely is athletic enough to Nolan Smith, 2 incredibly athletic. Like this defense is very well built to stop just about everything. And then you combine that with the fact that it's going to be an outside game. It's supposed to be a little bit windy, which I think plays heavily in the Eagles' favor, because the Lions, I think we all believe the Lions would win a shootout if that's what it's going to be.
Well, let me throw this, though. I mean, you talk about the weather, but the Lions are a much better rushing team than Philadelphia.
Yeah, true. And Philadelphia's defense, if there is, I mean, they've gotten better as of late, but like their success rate is amongst the bottom in the league on defense.
I do think that's part of it too. It's like the Eagles' defense is an evolving unit, and the way that they're going to be able to play complementary football and offense is going to change depending on how good the defense is for the rest of the year. But to me, it's like we've danced around it, but it's also Goff outside against pressure is a different quarterback. He only has one more outdoor game the rest of the season. He's going to want to try and secure as much indoor football as possible in the postseason. And that's a really fascinating matchup with Dan Campbell now calling the plays again for the offense, and what he did last week, which was trying to unlock Jameson Williams, who was not getting a ton of targets when Johnny Morton was calling the plays. And it's like, I don't know. I think like all of the coaching chess matches in this game are really fascinating. Are we going to do it, by the way? Are we going to talk about the AJ Brown stuff?
Oh yeah,
do we have to?
Can I say one more? Can I say one more thing before we get to the AJ Brown thing? The Lions are kind of known for being a play action heavy team, and I think that one of the risks that the Eagles open themselves up to by playing so much quarters coverage is losing the safeties in play action and open themselves up to big plays. So like I think that'll be another thing. I'm not sure how they'll approach that, given the fact that the Lions run the ball well. The Eagles love to play quarters, and quarters doesn't work if your safeties don't get involved in the running game. All right, Charlie, now you can get to the fun.
We have this clip. We're going to play you the 2 audio pieces that AJ Brown.
Of AJ Brown?
Yeah, first in Twitch, then his media availability.
If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me.
In that moment where I'm just talking to my friend, having fun with my friend, I'm not apologizing for that. Like I said, because if you have eyes, you can see that. And so, like, it's not that I was throwing anybody on the bus. I'm literally trying to laugh through this. This is tough.
What do you guys think about this? Because like I hear this, the Eagles are winning football games. I also think AJ Brown is completely right in his frustration of how he's being used in this offense, and I also think that Jalen Hurts' quotes about it, like his like oddly wise quotes, where he's like where he'll give some like BS platitude and then say he's like, I don't care as long as we win and I have 40 yards. Like it's just like, for lack of Like, take the easy win. Be like, he's one of our best players. We want to get him involved. He helps us win. Like, I totally think A.J. Brown is justified in being this annoyed because of the way their offense actually has run this year.
I mean, AJ, the funny thing is it obviously sounds different coming from AJ Brown than it does from like media people or fans, but this isn't a new complaint. And it's not just I think you could get caught up in the idea that it's AJ Brown just wanting the ball because that's what receivers want. And that's a fair assumption to make, that he's somewhat self-interested as he gets closer to the dreaded age of 30 and his numbers are not as good as he would want them to be to have a contract negotiation. And then there's like all these other career, how you're going to be remembered and all this stuff in Hall of Fame. Like that stuff matters and it's hard. But I don't think that, at least in this situation, he has pretty good justification. He's saying the things that we've all been saying all year long. It's like, yeah, it's fine. They're winning. However, at some point, that's not going to be enough. So it's hard not to understand where he's coming from. And I guess you can quibble with how he's gone about bringing this complaint. But the only reason why it would bother me is if this is the first that they are hearing about it. And it's not. I'm sure that he said it inside a bunch of times.
Yeah, I think that you have to kind of zero in on, okay, what are we discussing here? Is A.J. Brown right? Yes. Is A.J. Brown playing dumb and he pretends like he didn't say a thing he meant? Also, yes, right? Like, I think he's kind of trying to have it both ways with complaining and then pretending he's not complaining. Whatever. We're here to talk about football. From a football perspective, he's correct. The offense, I mean, both Domonique and I talked about this on Monday, like, the biggest pass plays outside of the Saquon catch happened because of the attention paid to A.J. Brown. His impact on the game is always going to show up in ways that are not reflected in his own individual production, for sure. But also, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and it's kind of inexcusable that he is not being utilized more than he is. So, to me, it's less about, oh, is A.J. happy? The trade deadline's passed. It's over. He's going to be on this team. This is a Super Bowl, a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Can they fix the offense? He has to be a big part of that. No question in my mind. And that's going to, determine, because 10 points ain't going to get it done against other teams. And it's going to determine what happens, I think, over the course of the season.
I just think it's nuts. Like last year, it made sense. Like they had so much margin. The running game was so good. They had all of these options. It's just different this year. It's not like they have this dominant running game or this dominant offense. Like, look, here's a stat from True Media. A.J. Brown has run 14 crossing routes this season. There are 137 pass catchers that have run more of those routes than him. Get him the ball.
Yeah. I mean, so I think this is where you get into the chicken or the egg part of this conversation. Is like, is this offense holding them all back because this is the way the offense is designed, or do they feel like they have to design the offense this way in order not to get themselves in trouble? So like they're not dumb coaches. They know how. Like you can look around the league and see there are plenty of other really talented receivers. Yeah. With quarterbacks that aren't Mahomes, Allen, or Jackson, who find ways to create opportunities for their attention-getting receivers to get the ball and their offenses to be more explosive.
Yeah.
The reason why they don't do it, to me, is the question that we can't get to the bottom of. That's not all that clear. Do they not do it because they think that it makes it too risky given the quarterback, or do they not do it because they're like, we don't have to because we're in these games and it's fine? And we don't have the answer.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not saying anyone's like a dumb coach, but like I don't understand why we would give Petula the benefit of the doubt as a play caller, like with any of this stuff. And I know that Jalen Hurts doesn't throw over the middle of the field the way that other quarterbacks do, but he has 26 in routes this season. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams both have 59. He looks like Terrell Owens. Not using him in the middle of the field, it's weird.
It is weird. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have the answer to it. Like, maybe you're right. There's some benefit of the doubt that I'm going to give an NFL offensive coordinator. Like, I mean, I think that he understands offense enough to know that there are better ways to go about doing this. And it may not – he is a new offensive coordinator. My guess is they didn't just hand him the keys and say, do what you want. My guess is this is an organizational decision.
I mean, AJ wasn't used that way last year, too, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You run the same numbers on True Media, you probably get similar results for 2024, and they won the Super Bowl. So, like, it's like, it's not like Kevin Petullo came in and said, cool, all go balls and hitches and some slants. Like, it's just, I think it's a reflection of the quarterback and the way he likes to play. And in the past, it has worked at times, but that's worked when it's been coupled with a good run game. And right now, they're not running the ball well, consistently at least. So
yeah,
got to figure that out.
I really hope he's on the Bills next year. Dominique, what's your good game?
Rams Seahawks. I think it's the battle for the NFC right now, the two teams that we're all talking about. I think the fairest criticism of the Seahawks right now is that their defense has been awesome, but against a lot of not all that impressive quarterbacks or offenses, and now they have one. They have the most impressive quarterback in offense to go up against. I'm excited to see how they've been making these other teams look like pedestrian. So I don't think they're going to be able to do that with the Rams, but I want to see how good this defense is, because I think we give a lot of credit and attention to the offensive thinkers and offensive masterminds. Mike McDonald is that on defense. And I think we don't understand defense as much, so we don't appreciate it. But I would like to see this particular matchup and I'm kind of rooting for the Seahawks a little bit because I'm a defensive guy, even though I think the Rams are ultimately a better team. But that's the big question to me, is I think we think the Rams, there are tiers of teams. And like in that top tier, there are teams that are playing really well and also teams that are playing really well and have already proven it to us before. The Seahawks are a team that's playing really well, but they haven't proven it to us yet. And this game is one of those opportunities for them to prove it to us. And obviously, a tiny little Russian nesting doll in that question is Sam Darnold. Like, is he going to do it in this situation?
Quietly, as much as we talk about how good the Seahawks defense is deservedly, and that matchup is you know, the alien versus predator of matchups of the weekend, Sam Darnold hasn't really gone up against many good defenses this year. And the best one he went up against was the Houston Texans, and he probably had his worst game, right? So the Rams defense has really improved this season. They rank top 10 in most meaningful. I think they're like top 5 in DVOA, last I checked. So this is a challenge for Sam, and Chris Shula, I think, is a really good defensive coordinator, and I think McVay is probably going to help him put together a game plan for this offense. I think they're going to dare Seattle to run the ball, so it might not even actually be as much about Darnold, but it is definitely a unique challenge. But as far as the Rams offense versus the Seahawks defense, I'm really interested in a few things, one of which is the Rams they've been putting multiple tight ends on the field a lot and killing teams when they put linebackers out there in the pass game. The Seahawks don't care. They're not going to put linebackers out there. They are measuring in big nickel with Nick Emmanwori.
Oh, my guy. He's my guy.
And so they're I think, like, basically daring the Rams to run on that. And they've been awesome defending the run out of those. Like, the Seahawks can do the thing that every defense in the NFL aspires to, which is they can actually stop the run with people who can cover, right? So if you're the Rams, are you like, cool, we're going to run it. We're going to pound, because I don't know. I think they're going to play them. They're going to basically, both defenses are going to beg the other team to run the ball on this one. Right. And I think whether or not the Seahawks run defense stands up is going to be massive.
I know the 13 personnel has become a huge part of this Rams offense. Is there any part? Well, I guess Adams isn't 100% healthy, so that changes things. But there's part of me that thinks that they're not going to try to do this 13 personnel thing against the Seahawks, because I don't think they have an advantage there. I really don't. I know how good they've been at that, but I don't think they have the advantage that most people think that they have, or that they do have against most teams against them. So I'm sure they'll have some plays in there. They'll test it out to see how it goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get out of that quickly. I mean, and Charlie's been talking about Nick Emmanwori since over a year now. Yeah. Or I guess that's not quite a year, but several months now. And so, like, I know that guy's big and athletic and a wannabe Kyle Hamilton.
He's faster. He's like build-wise. Build-wise, like athletic profile-wise, it's like the reason I liked him is like it's very rare to see the 6'3", 220-pound safety that runs sub 4.4. That's like Sean Taylor type of physical profile. And then to see him in this defense be this versatile, be this good in coverage immediately, like that's really exciting, because you thought that some of that stuff, some of that sort of range and style of play might take longer with Emmanwori compared to the other safeties at the top of the draft, like Malachi Starks, who was more proficient in coverage at in college. So that's why I was excited about him. I mean, Mina, do you think when you watch the Seahawks running game, how much of last week do you think was like pretending better results moving forward versus potentially just the fact that it was, a blowout?
Yeah, it's still not great. I think I thought, last week was impressive for sure. Commanders games don't count. To me, it's kind of like the offensive line still isn't, they're not a dominant run blocking unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's still some weaknesses there. And so if defenses actually really try to stop the run, I think it's going to be pretty inefficient. But because the Seahawks passing game is so explosive and the addition of Shaheed makes it even more so,
Yes. Yeah.
they're going to get favorable looks to run the ball. And I think that's what's going to happen in this game. I mean, don't you think the Rams are going to say, cool, run it? Like they're going to basically beg Seattle to run it. And whether or not they're capable of doing that into what I expect to be a fair amount of light boxes is going to be pretty significant here.
Yeah, and I find it hard to imagine, honestly, which is why it's going to end up in the most obvious place on Darnold, is because I think that Rams front is pretty tough to block. And that Seahawks offensive line is not, to your point, not a great run blocking offensive line. They'll pop a few runs if the Rams refuse to load the box and get 5 or 6 yards, but I don't think it'll be enough to sustain an offense. Like Sam Darnold is going to have to throw into coverages. And I think one of the other things to switch back to the other side, I want to talk about the Seahawks defense that they do really well behind their blitzes and behind their simulated pressures is anticipate the answer. If you notice more than anything, you'll see when a person is dropping out from showing blitz, most of the time they drop into a zone. If you watch all the Seahawks plays, the person that's dropping out drops to a person, and it seems as if they are anticipating what your answer is going to be. And that's going to be I assume that McVay has seen that, and obviously Stafford's seen everything there is to see at this point in his career. But still, if there's a big body standing where you want to throw the ball and then there's a free runner coming at you, there is no answer for it. And the Seahawks are definitely going to achieve that once or twice in important situations.
Yeah, I'm interested. It's so funny. So the Rams right now are 6th in ESPN's pass block win.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good, but I'm trying to think of. I mean, they played the Texans, right? The Seahawks pass rush is so unique.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to pick who's going to get the better of that matchup. I really when I think about everything required to play this Rams offense, the Seahawks have it, except for maybe elite corner play. The corners are playing well. I think Stafford will still be able to beat them with those crazy Matthew Stafford 1-of-1 throws.
Yeah.
But I
is
also
there any
think it's
defense
going
for that though? At that point,
well, I was going to say I also think it's going to take those throws. Is kind of what I'm getting to, because when watching the Rams offense, against San Francisco, for example, it was guys were wide open on play. There was just. I think the Seahawks, it's just not going to be. They're going to dial up the level of difficulty, but then Matthew Stafford is one of the few quarterbacks in the NFL who can match that. So. Kind of just comes down to whether or not they run into a Matthew Stafford buzzsaw performance, which, as good as he's been, it's not always, he can be affected by pressure and stuff. So it's tough, man. It's really tough to pick between that offense and this defense.
All right, my good game. Chiefs Broncos. I mean, this is just obviously super exciting for the top of the AFC West, and the Chiefs obviously are, they're 5-4. They need to win these games if they want to have a chance to win their division. But Andy Reid's 22-4 coming out of a bye in his career. I imagine they're going to be really well prepared. I'm fascinated to see this offense. I guess we don't know still if Josh Simmons is going to play this week. It seems like he might not, even though he's now back practicing with the team. I do think it'll be interesting to see how this offense continues to progress with more playmakers around Mahomes and if they'll be able to have time for him. And honestly, the offense is we know that this Denver defense is awesome. But I'm also fascinated to see it feels like the Denver offense is unraveling a bit. Is that too harsh? Just with the way that it looks?
I mean, I don't think it's too harsh. I'm not even sure if I would use the word unraveling, because unraveling
implies that it was raveled.
It was raveled. Yeah, it implies
Is raveled a word?
Yeah, I think that it is kind of, they've had success at times, but it never
If it
felt
gets
like,
to the fourth quarter.
But but it never felt like this was a completely raffled offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was always kind of felt like it was a heavily scheme dependent offense, and kind of like how's Bo Nick's accuracy today?
Yeah.
And so like that was kind of always a problem. It looked really bad because it was a standalone game against a defense that we thought was bad, and it looked really bad in that situation. And so like that, I think, is what leads us to be really a lot more concerned about this offense than we have been in the past. But I'm sure that they're going to have some things schemed up to get things over. Like I don't see the Chiefs like blanking this offense the way that, I know it sounds silly, the way that the Raiders just kind of did.
You can run on the Chiefs, but and Ben pointed this out. So no J.K. Dobbins in this one is kind of sneaky, impactful for Denver, because I do think the way you play the Chiefs is you want to run on them. And then you want to attack the backers in coverage. And Josh Allen had his best game of the year against Kansas City because of that formula, right? Like they were the short passing game and the runs, but I do not trust Denver any day of the week on offense. Maybe, but and defensively, obviously, is where this game would be won for them if they're able to pull it off. No Surtain hurts quite a bit in this. I think ultimately it's simply going to come down to whether Denver's pass rush can take over. Yeah. Because I think we could get quick game Mahomes, and I think quick game Mahomes can work against this defense, especially without Surtain. But Denver has a huge matchup advantage at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. The Chiefs, it does feel like an oversimplification, but when the Chiefs protected Mahomes and they had those healthy weapons, obviously things are going to work out quite well. When he wasn't protected and they had healthy weapons, it was ugly. When they protect him and he doesn't have weapons, it's not as good, but they can manage. This game's going to come down to whether that best in the league front pass rush is going to be able to get to Patrick Mahomes. And we saw, and the last time when the Chiefs played the Bills, we saw Andy Reid break out like some weird, I guess I would say, protection strategies.
Talking about the 4th and 17, the fake rollout play.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do, what type of protections they break out, but they're not just going to drop back and let their ends just try to block, which helps out. It helps out the missing of Surtain. Like they'll be able to. They won't be able to release as many people in coverage, and like I think I don't know if you did, but I expected a lot more Jahdae Barron than we would have gotten. It seems that they want to use Jahdae Barron. Seems like he was on Bowers much of the game.
They've been using him in that slot,
right? And it's like a tight, like a dime tight end type of guy. But when Surtain dropped, he moves up to the nickel, but it's still like focused on the tight end. I was surprised that they went with was it Abrams Drain at the corner, but he seems like a better cover guy. Yeah. So we'll see. My guess is
I don't know how much we learned.
Yeah,
he got killed by who they played the Chargers the week before or someone.
Yeah.
Somebody. Yeah, anyways.
And Bowers got after Jahdae Barron too in that game. Yeah. So not everybody can be my beloved Riley Moss.
You're gonna say my beloved Cooper DeJean. That's who like the archetype player prospect for Jahdae Barron.
No, but on that team, Riley's the man.
Yeah. Mina, what's your good bad game?
Panthers Falcons. I think this is an important game, even though it's not a good game, because I think these are two teams. No, Falcons fans will get mad at me. There's one team I think on the verge of giving up again on their quarterback, and then another team that is probably starting to the doubt is creeping in Atlanta. It's also important because like the final game of last season, these teams played each other and the quarterbacks both went crazy and gave a lot of fan bases hope. Like, oh my God, look at Bryce Young and Michael Penix Jr. in week 18. But both of the defenses have improved significantly since then. I talked about this on my pod, but like Bryce, to me, this feels like this is it, right? Like you got to turn this thing around now or you're going to get competition, if not replacement this offseason. Penix, you get a little bit more grace because he hasn't played very much, but this is I feel like if either of these quarterbacks looks like a stinker in this one, there's organizational ramifications beyond this week.
Agreed. I mean, I get your point, and I agree with you about Bryce. The Penix thing is difficult because it's so much of it is health related to me, and where I think the report was that they can't. The reason why they run so much pistol is because Penix can't not be in pistol. Like that to me, if you're gonna have
crazy, though.
Yeah. Right? If you're going to have that type of limitation, then you better be, I don't know, Drew Brees. You know, so like I think the bar for him to clear to say that the value that he adds is more than the value that he takes away is really high. And so like being okay is not good enough in my view for Michael Penix. And they have their quarterback situation is already an interesting one. I doubt that they make any. I think you're right. It changes the perception I'm going forward, but I don't know what drastic changes they would make like this offseason if he doesn't play well. I mean, he has more time too. I think for the rest of the season, there could be some things, some other games that we'll look to, but I think you're right about Bryce's time is running out.
I think it's for both of them. Like,
I mean, I think it's for both of them. I think it's more urgent for Bryce Young than it is for
I mean,
Michael Penix Jr.
The Bryce Young stuff, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I know there are some tape people online who are always like, the numbers are really bad, but it's tape. Like the tape is, he shows more flashes than what we've seen. But like, I can't talk myself into the Bryce Young stuff. So, but like the with the Penix, like this team has been really disappointing offensively. Right. He was supposed to change a ton of that stuff. Are we sure that it's going to be the same coaching staff and administration moving forward that brought him in and did this type of thing? And if they're not, then like, I don't think that he's a guaranteed starter either next year, quite frankly. Just with like the style of play, and if it's a second coaching staff, the investment won't be in him. The investment will be in getting it right. It's like, to me, like I think the quarterbacks are really interesting, but I don't think either of them have been good this year.
I think they're both going to get competition, if nothing else, this offseason, unless they go crazy for the rest of the season. Bears-Vikings, my game? Yeah. I honestly, like, I think the obvious thing that you might look at here is, like, the Brian Flores angle, but Caleb was so good last week, man.
Yeah, man. Caleb threw some absolute dimes.
And the physicality, too.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I mean, I think that stuff, the question about Caleb was operating within structure. He operated within structure, and he also did the freaky Caleb stuff that we all admired and liked. And there were drop passes that cost the numbers being a lot better. But it was this within structure that I liked. I will say this, that there were a couple of – he makes these decisions to get creative, and they worked out most of the time in this game. But he also, like, opened himself up to a number of sacks that he managed to wiggle his way out of, and some of them seem more under control and some were less under control, but it feels like I'm nitpicking. If we're willing to throw last year out and look at the progress that he's made so far this year, and I know the Giants aren't a great defense, and I know they haven't done this against a bunch of great defenses, but it was really exciting to rewatch that game and know the outcome and watch the decisions that he's making and the way he bounces back from drop passes and all those sorts of things.
And you should highlight the throw to DJ Moore in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane.
And then there was another one right after that to Zacchaeus in the same spot that got dropped.
That he dropped, where he's rolling to his right. I think just coming off of the Young Penix discussion, and Penix was his draft class, Young was earlier. Both we talk about those quarterbacks and we talk about like the limitations physically, right? When I watch Caleb, the number one thing that jumps out to me is just the absence of physical limitations. He can make, I mean, you know, I'm not saying that he's perfect. Obviously,
right.
He's a little shorter, you know, and he's not. He's a good athlete. He's not like Lamar, whatever. But he can make every throw, and you saw that against the Giants. You saw the touch, the placement, every part of the field, on the move, in the pocket, like physically. And this is why he was the number one overall pick and why he was so touted. He is capable of doing it all. The question to me is just consistency and pocket management at this point. And those are up and down. I'm not saying he's perfect, but oh my God, some of the throws. And it's also like, it's not like sometimes with past quarterbacks, you get like drunk on arm talent. And I don't think that's fair either, because I do feel like he has progressed as a pocket passer. And I do feel like there is it's not just like, oh, wow, 2 dimes a game. It's not like that at all. He's making all kinds of throws. But yeah, this is a challenge. I mean, this is definitely obviously one of the better defenses. They are weirdly susceptible to big plays. I would be concerned about that if I'm Minnesota, because he's like a big play machine right now.
Yeah. I mean, Mina, you talked about his athleticism. Like, to me, the most impressive and I shouldn't say the most impressive, the most unique factor of his athleticism as a quarterback is his power and like the strength of his base and his core and his legs. Like, the way he's able to throw around edge defenders when he's escaping pressure, to me, is like very unique. And you see it. I mean, of course, you see it with guys like Josh Allen or Cam Newton, who are like impossible to bring down, or Big Ben, who is Levitard used to describe him as a skyscraper that was moving. But Caleb is like this like bendy, kind of explosive, squatty athlete who throws guys off and then gets the corner. And that happened 3 times in the fourth quarter of that game for big chunk plays on the ground. He's, I mean, physically, to your point, just very unique and freakish. I am on the other side also a little bit interested to see how many quarters 9 is good for. He's gotten up to 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on this Bears defense at all. So there's going to be opportunities for him. But yeah,
they are turnover dependent and going up against some bad O's. But all right, Charlie,
all right.
what's your...
So I feel obligated to do Bills Bucs because this is just a good game. There are 4 good games.
Yeah,
and
this is a good game.
Yeah, well,
I think this is better than Broncos Chiefs to me. But.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, interesting. Because I was gonna say, I actually am not that interested in watching.
I mean, it's
Really?
It's because Mina, it's about the running game of the Bills and the run defense.
Oh, game script. Let's get ahead. And we're the
and the run.
Every Bills game. This is every Bills game is, can you run the ball and can you stop the run? Because if you can do those things, you're gonna get the Bills problems. If you can't, then the Bills can beat you. There you go.
That's exactly. We are excited to watch that.
But Bucky Irving is back.
Yeah.
The Bucs ran the ball better last week. So
I mean, based on
they're obviously good teams. So it will be like a really high quality football game. But
I mean, the only thing about this Bucs team that has kind of changed is like the running ability of Mayfield has seemed to somewhat disappear. Like that.
There's a stat for that. 0 scrambles in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and if you think back, I know they won a lot of tight games against teams that weren't all that good, so maybe they were never as good as we thought they were. But those games, the biggest plays in those games were a result of Baker Mayfield's legs, with the exception of that Seahawks game. They beat them. They were a good team, and Baker was dealing in that game. But he's taking that part of his game out, really, like, it erases some of the moxie. You get a little less moxie when you can't run.
Yeah.
Is there ever a pocket passer who has moxie?
We got to do moxie rankings.
No, we can't, man. I refuse to allow it.
It's like a hate exercise.
It's like a deep off season. We got to be like in the heart.
Who's a non-white player who's been described as having moxie?
Bryce Young.
Oh.
Scrappy.
Yeah, he gets scrappy. Who is? I mean,
you gotta be small. If you're not white.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett doesn't have moxie.
No, I mean he's never.
He's regal. I feel like you get like authority.
Josh Dobbs. Did people say that about Josh Dobbs?
No one's ever
cerebral.
said it about Josh Dobbs. Yeah, he gets cerebral.
How much of that is just branding from his socials being like Spaceman?
Yeah, that's it's all branding.
The Pastronaut? I'm trying to think. Like, I get because the only people I really think are like moxie QBs are JJ McCarthy and Baker.
And what's his name with the hair?
Gardner
Minshew.
Yeah, Minshew. Yeah, Minshew was super moxie.
Yeah, maybe it's just it's a white guy thing.
All right. You got anything else?
Yeah, I want to do the game I wanted to do, but I was forced to do Packers Giants. First of all, I want to do this game just for this clip. I have a clip that I need to show you for this game. It's the most this Giants team is the best.
I don't know.
Do you like
Charlie in these clips now.
Turn your head to eat a taco, or do you turn the taco for you? Like, are you dominant to the taco, or does the taco, like, do you turn your head for the taco? It's about the dominance of the taco, though. Like, if you're turning the taco, you're dominating the taco.
What? Isn't he from California?
He's from Oakland. Or not Oakland, from Sacramento.
What is that? Like, what am I missing here?
The accent.
I don't understand it.
It's also just he's turning the taco to spill all of the innards onto him.
I've never heard him talk before. I'm shook. What was happening there? Am I wrong to be just confused?
I ordered
By the
tacos
voice?
last night. I DoorDashed tacos because of this clip last night.
You let him dominate
Yes.
you, and then you let the taco.
Hell
dominate.
yeah, I got dominated by that taco.
This is Charlie texted this to me last night, and I had so much to say that I will not say right now. But this is ridiculous. We're not doing this, Charlie. We did it. Okay.
He's got
We have-
No,
Moxie.
he's from Central California.
He's from
Okay,
Central.
picture's starting to come together here in my mind.
It feels like
That was like was that not like vaguely Southern sounding? I know I get accused of this a lot, so a little bit.
yeah, you have a shape-shifting accent, and
Yeah.
apparently he does too. But it just feels like
So confused.
like the most harmless version of like the internet men, where it's like I gotta dominate everything, like the ridiculous stuff that people are like, hey, I'm alpha male man. Like this is the early stage alpha male is what it is. Like I gotta dominate everything. I gotta dominate my taco. Man, eat the damn taco.
Fellas, is it
We didn't
feminine
even
to
have a
eat a
foot.
taco normally?
Give him a break.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Like,
fellas.
you know,
Connotations.
Yeah.
This is Jameis against the
Yes.
Packers defense. I think
we
that's
go.
a horrible matchup for
Yep.
Jameis.
Yeah, well, sure, but also
They're gonna pick him off.
let's
so much.
let's see this theoretical great Packers team get to like more than 10 points.
Ain't no one saying that anymore. You can't straw man. There's no people are out.
You're telling me I can't do a wait? What? We're not going to do the thing where we pretend that the Packers are. I actually came away. Look, I actually came away more impressed with the Packers last week.
Oh gosh! All right, we've reached the end of this program. Charlie's into
Starting feuds.
out here making fun of other
Subtweeting.
podcasters. Yeah, he's subtweeting
All
other
right,
podcasts.
should
Is
we
the
do our
Survivor
pool?
over?
No, I don't know. Let's see.
No, it's not over.
I don't remember. Who did I pick last week?
Stand by.
Somebody who won probably. Moo.
You picked. Mina picked the Bills last week.
Who did?
Mina did.
Oh, no.
yeah.
We picked the Seahawks.
Woo!
So we're only down by one game again.
Oh.
Okay. All right. All right.
Um,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So it's not.
I
It is
accept my
not
L.
over yet. And by the way, so full disclosure, there were some technical issues in the front end of the show. There was a moment where we were running a little bit behind. I didn't know if Mina was going to be able to do it. I was so excited to give you 2 more losses.
All right. So wait, I'm one ahead of you now
Yeah,
in my losses.
You're
We're doing
one
it this
ahead
way.
of us.
Okay. All
You've
right,
picked
fair
the
enough.
Steelers, Rams, Bucks, Texans.
Don't do that.
Lions.
That doesn't help us at all. Just when she picks a team,
Okay.
tell her whether she picks
Just- yeah,
them or
yeah,
not.
yeah, that-
'Cause, like
thank
when
you,
you say
thank you,
all
darling.
those,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for the first
Yeah.
season of this, I just thought I was
Appreciate
dumb.
you.
'Cause you would rattle them off, and I was like,
it's
and
funny.
everyone would pretend like they could do it, and I was like, damn, is my brain broken?
It's also because I just have them in front of me. Yeah, why don't you get it?
Yeah.
All right, who do we got?
I appreciate this. Oh man, this is a tough week actually. Have I picked the Ravens yet?
You have not picked the Ravens.
Okay, good. Have I picked the Cowboys yet?
You have not picked the Cowboys.
All right, I'll take the Cowboys over the Raiders.
Cowbs.
Who you want, Charlie?
You've been our winning streak.
Oh, okay. So I got to pick have we picked the Packers over the Giants?
We have. I don't like that pick. We have picked the Packers though.
You don't like that pick?
We've picked the Packers anyway.
Oh, we have. Okay,
You
okay.
can't do it.
All right, then let's go Patriots Jets.
We have not picked the Patriots.
Give me the Patriots.
Let's go.
All right, we're coming back. We're tied up after next week. Thanks a lot, Mina. You're the best. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks to all our great producers. Podville, I love you. We out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.